Okay, right here we go, over shoulder view. You took about 25, 26 strokes per length on this. I'm not sure if that's a meter pool or a yard pool, but we were a pretty high stroke count there. Overall, looks like we're just not getting a lot of grip of the water. Our catch is basically non-existent. First thing I'm going to point out here is we are going to just look at our head position. I want you to see how we have really just look at where our head is in relationship to that water. What I want to see is I want to see this one goggle in the water, and I want to see that head a little bit flatter. So I want the crown of your head down into that water a little bit more. That's one of the first things. What that's going to do is that's going to drive your hips up and get you a little more streamlined position. Notice what's going on here with these legs. We're getting a big scissor kick. Those feet should be together with our big toes just slightly touching each other, not getting this big scissor kick. The scissor kick is going to be caused by our arm crossing midline, which we'll talk about here in a second. Alright. Let's talk about as our hand leaves the water, since we're in that position right here. So where this hand leaves the water, we want to make sure that that hand is leading pinky first. Okay, and then one of the other things that we want to do is we want to make sure that we're getting a high elbow recovery. Alright, so we want to get this elbow high. Alright, so we should be leading with that elbow high, coming back in. So let me clear that off, and we will come forward here. Alright, elbows up there. Okay, alright, and this is where we're going to start. As this hand enters, when we're entering the water, this arm that's entering the water should be fully extended. Alright, it should be almost straight as it enters the water and just slightly outside of your shoulder. Alright, so it should just be just slightly outside your shoulder. For you, we're going to exaggerate this. We're going to make sure that we are almost feel like we're touching the lane lines. But you see, we had a pretty big bend in that elbow. As we were looking at that, we got a pretty good bend in there. Can't really throw an angle on this, and it really doesn't matter. We should be nearly straight. The other thing is, if we look at where our hand is in relationship to our head, we're going to see this hand come in, and then it's going to sweep way back out to try to catch up, and we're getting that scissor kick again. Surprisingly, your hips are in a pretty decent position. I think we can improve that, but something to keep looking at here. All right. So we're going to come through. We got that elbow coming in. Now look how much turbulence we're causing in the water here. We can see all that. All that is inefficiency. We want to make sure that we get rid of all that, and we're going to get that when we're going to feel like we're spearing the water. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to get you in more of a spearing, and we want you to spear this water at like a 30-degree angle. So we want you to feel like we're just spearing that water down at a nice 30. I think that's going to help you for now until we resolve some of these balance issues, and then we can go to more advanced technique, like an early vertical forearm, where we'd want to keep this arm a little closer to the surface. But for now, we want to try to get about a 30-degree angle into the water. All right, let's continue here. I'm going to let this play a little bit so maybe we get a better angle of where that hand comes in, sweeps out, hand comes in towards that midline, sweeps out. Good. So we can see that here, and we're already a little bit late. Let me come back. There was a good shot of it here of what I'm trying to correct. Good. Let's go there. So if I throw that midline down, throw that line. Oh, let's go green. Alright, that hand's getting very close to that midline here, and you'll see it come in and then sweep all the way back out. Look how far out it had to come. Alright, so it's here all the way out to there to try to get in a good position. We want to get in this position first. That's where we want to be to begin with. Alright, we're just wasted movement, and we're moving water towards the side of the pool versus straight back. That's what we want to be, moving water back, moving forward. I just want you to kind of watch as we go through some, slow motion here. We don't have a lot of grip of the water. There's a lot of water. We're not catching it. We're not really gaining a stable platform here. We want to feel. Some people say almost like you're wrapping your arm over a barrel up in that front there. So I'm going to hit play here again, let you watch this a little bit in some slow-mo. Big scissor kick, out, big sweep, come towards that middle. That one we definitely crossed over, and then we had to sweep back out to get out of the way. Hips are in a pretty good position, considering. All right. Now this position here, when we're in this position on our side, what I want you to do is I want you to feel like this arm is reaching all the way for that pool. Alright, now our belly button right now is facing the bottom of the pool, or that black line. It should be facing the side wall more than it is facing the bottom of the pool. Alright, so we could do a little bit better rotation here. The problem is with us trying to get our hand out, to get back out, we're getting this scissor kick in this back, and it's throwing our whole balance off. So we need to work on our body rotation as well, so we get this belly button facing more of the side of the pool. So get this belly button facing more of the side of the pool than the bottom of the pool. Alright. And we have moments where your elbow's where I want it. And unfortunately, we're getting it right here at where that arm should be out and extended. The shoulder's elevated here. Let me just get a circle here. So our shoulder's elevated where it should be, which is fine. But I want this elbow kind of in this high position all the way as it comes through this entire transition. So as we lead, we should be leading high elbow all the way, and then we want to be extending out, reaching for that. One thing we see here with our pull is we're pulling with the opposite arm. We got the classic dropped elbow. That elbow is dropped. The elbow is below the hand. All right, when the hand should be below that elbow. All right, so we want to fight that. We're going to see that here as we go through a couple more frames. Let's see, good. Should be able to see this here in a second. We're really going to try to zoom in on that. Just get a shadow here. And try to bring this forward a little bit. Let's see if we can. There. Okay. So if we zoom in on just this elbow here, alright, I want you to look at, we have that, that dropped elbow position. Alright, so we're getting that, kind of getting that angle here when we should be straight and extended. So that elbow's dropping low when that elbow should be up high and that arm extended. Alright, and we'll see that here. Yeah, and we're pretty pixelated here. Not the best shot, but we can still see what we're looking for here and now. Just take a look at your opposite arm here. You want to lead out with that pinky, keep that elbow high, close to your body. We're kind of swinging way out here, but then we're bringing it all the way back here to bring it back out. Again, definitely getting some inefficiency here. We want to bring these feet closer together, just to where those big toes are just touching. So you see we're pretty flat here, and then as soon as this hand enters, we could use a little more body rotation. Flat. Okay. just look at, there's another good kind of visual on how close we're coming to that midline, and then watch how far that hand comes out as we come through here. Way out here. Alright, let's get it there to begin with. Okay, let's keep that crown of that head down a little bit more. We talked about that. Kind of hard to see on this side, but kind of look at this windmill position here where we're just kind of balancing out on this arm. Excuse me, let me back. Zoomed in instead of drew a line, I apologize. So we're kind of trying to balance ourselves on this arm. This arm's coming up and over. We got to get this elbow a little bit higher. That's going to balance us out. A little more rotation, and we're going to be able to clean that up. Let me take you off slow motion here just so you know you can watch yourself take a couple regular strokes. And back to slow-mo. Elbow dropped. I mean, good. You can bilateral breathe. I want you to try keeping your whole head down a little bit more. Crown of that head down flat. Your hip position's pretty okay in the water. You can see here while lifting that up how much it dropped. So usually it's in a pretty decent position, but you can see how just lifting that crown of your head is dropping your hips from the top of the surface. We are pretty good here. Those hips are close to that surface. So I'm not going to, we can always drop, we might drop our head down a little bit more. Just get a little more down towards that black line. Slight forward gaze might help a little bit. But those hips are pretty good, but we can see when we go to breathe and you lift that head up, those hips drop, and that's going to be inefficiency. You want to keep that streamlined. Okay. Good, that nice, we got a nice long profile here. And now let's see if we drop that elbow. It could be a little more rotated in this position. We want to rotate, keeping that head in that position that it's in. So we want to keep that head right where it is, and rotate like we're on a almost like we have a rod running straight through the center of our body, and we want to rotate about that. All right, and then you'll see as we go through this. We're kind of moving, moving all, and that's the camera. But we get the head up. We were getting that scissor kick. All right, hips drop. We want one goggle under the water. The other thing with your breathing, let's try blowing bubbles while our face is down in the water. So when our face is down in the water, we want to be blowing bubbles. So, and then expire big breath out. So when you come, I just want you to be able to sneak a breath, all right, and then get that head back down, especially since we're, fighting keeping that head down to begin with. All right, that's about all we have for this one.